Hello, this is Matt Creek here. I'm now on the way to Chessington World of Adventures today to experience a brand new attraction, Broom on the Broom. Wait, no, that's not right. Room on the Broom, that's right. So, Room on the Broom is a brand new walk-through attraction based on the book by Julia Donaldson with the same name. It replaced the former Hocus Pocus horror attraction, which had been there for 15 years and 16 seasons, which sadly, as we know, was in a dreadful state in its last couple of years. So I used to like Hocus Pocus, I know some people not so much, so it's going to be interesting to see what they've done to it. And yay, we finally made it to wherever we're going. Pretty sure it's Legoland, eh? Let's see, what's closed today? That's a shame. So if you haven't guessed it already, Hocus Pocus Hall has gone and been replaced by Room on the Broom. So the Bunster Mansion, there we are. We'll probably won't go on that straight away because it's supposed to be quite later on, but it's going to be interesting to see what's changed, what's similar, or what's completely unrecognisable. The goblins have completely disappeared. Cannot see them anywhere. Right, so we're going to do Rattlesnake for ride number 1 of Chessington 2019. I've heard that the cue boards are broken and they've had like wide signs outside the things, which is interesting to notice. Crazy to think this is 21 years old. To now legally drink alcohol in America. Speaking of which, America is going to happen again in approximately 2.5 months, although the first visit to Cedar Point for Tom. Not going to spoil anything for him. Dragon Falls there is still shut. My apologies. I think they are doing some work on it to add some brakes. It's probably going to break down more though, but oh well. So yeah, just done the Rattlesnake ride. A bit rough and bumpy. I honestly miss the pond that used to be here, because until like a couple of years ago there used to be this lovely pond. I mean, okay, lovely is an exaggeration, but it's still better than the grass they've got here now, so it's kind of a shame that yeah, it's gone. Too many of these parks, especially in the UK, just seem to take things out and not replace them with anything equal or better, which is really saddening to see. Now, some of these stalls in not Pirate Landing, the pirate area of Chessington, I can't remember the name of it. Could look worse, I suppose. But now turned it into an arcade, so you can go in here now and you've got games over here. You've got games over here. It's like interesting because I'm seeing like all these arcades literally appearing everywhere at the moment. Fish and Chips looks a bit dead today. I suppose it's closed today, so it's a beautiful off-peak day, yeah. So I went to Legoland the other day, only Pizza Pasta, Burger Kitchen and Chicken Shack seems to be the only main places open. It was an off-peak day at the end of the day, but it's still a shame that the better ones weren't. Yeah, so we've got Blood Waterfall. Not bad at all there. Hopefully it stays that way. 90 minutes of Vampire, I think we're in for a long wait. So I'm going to go and try some dirty fries. See what I like. They're supposed to be very expensive, but I'm interested to see what they're like. $6.50. A little bit pricey, but we'll see what it's like. So I have some pulled pork fries here from Dirty Fries. Used to be the place where they did the noodles. So time to see what it is like. Catch you in a bit later. Okay, so my Dirty Fries were... They weren't dirty and fancy to say. They were not bad at all. Probably should have gone for the other type of chips, but they were okay. They weren't necessarily awful, but didn't make me go wow either. I like the idea of it though, and it's a bit pricey, but not as bad value as I thought it was because it included a free drink, which is nice. So I'm probably going to give it about maybe a 6.5 out of 10. Now we're going to do Terror Tomb. Wait, Tomb Blaster now. So to see what the state of this ride is like. Vintage cars. It looks like they've got another Q-Town board on there. TV screen. Oh yeah, it's gone.
What's going on? Hey, how's the shoot? It's gone, man.
Honestly, the state of this queue line is saddening to see.
That was a TV screen.
No one here. Like a ghost town here. Absolutely no one waiting. In here, just chicken. Got some funny puns down there. Watering. Mouth watering. Hopefully they don't water things down. 3-piece chicken meal. Boneless chicken meal, dry chicken meal. Next time I come in, I'll give it a go. So just done Toon Blaster. That was okay. Most of the effects were working, but the train was making this bumpy effect all the way through, so I don't know what's going on there. The border scene was broken again. The music sync could have been better, but I've also seen it worse. I'm still really sad what I did to it a few years ago because it wasn't brilliant then, but it was better than what we have now. Probably when this thing back opened, when it was Terror Tomb in the 90s, it was probably this amazing, groundbreaking dark ride. And it has some top quality theming in there, probably at the time when it was made. And if it were to be restored properly, it could be that again. But I think personally it's just a matter of time before it's waiting on the chopping block to probably be rethemed into something else. I mean, could they even put a new ride system in there if they keep the same building? We really don't know, but it's probably not going to be tampered with until there's a high investment year. So just done Gruffalo. It was actually a lot wetter than it should have been really. It's because one of the fountains was broken or not fully working properly towards the final rim of the ride, so got a little bit soaked here, which I honestly thought I was on a log flume, not Gruffalo, which is supposed to get you a tiny bit damp, but not soaking, but it's alright. I do like the Gruffalo. I think it is one of the better Merlin attractions. I mean, if I'm being picky, I would love to have seen a couple more animatronics, like a giant moving Gruffalo would have been great, but what they've got there is nice, still nice enough, and should be okay. Now we're going to do Room on the Broom, or Broom on the Room. Room on the Broom. So you can tell there used to be something here, but yeah. So time to try a brand new attraction, so time to finally see what it's like. It's probably going to be the longest queue today. So yeah. I like how symmetrical and even it is. You really cannot tell that they've used old bits of queue line. It's just like they've completely made it perfectly symmetrical. And I like how themed this queue line is. It's like, it doesn't seem boring at all. I can imagine it being great fun waiting here in the summer months. Like, who needs Woden's queue line when you have something like this? Just beautiful. So I have experienced the Room on the Broom attraction. I was very interested to see what they've done with that. Quite a mixture of things. There's some things I liked about it, some things I didn't. First, about the things I liked about it, I love the fact that it had several animatronics. You had like frog animatronics, dog animatronic, and bird animatronic. I think my favourite scene out of the whole one was with the dog, just because he says, "I am a dog." Now, the things I didn't like about it, the queue line is, I don't like the queue line at all. It just seems too big and nothing interesting. It's just a bland, massive cattle pen. And for something that's supposed to be a support attraction, it just seems like it's too big. Also, secondly, the batching procedure just seems to be comparatively slower than when it was Hocus Pocus Hall. Also, the one thing I really didn't like as well was I had a tunnel and it's not even spinning anymore. So it's been painted bright and blue, and that was really disappointing to see. So that is disappointing. It's like, if you can't turn it around, I would have rather them just taken the tunnel out and had it something else. But as a whole, it was a good family attraction walk through, and most of the effects in there, apart from the tunnel, have been done quite well, and it's a fun attraction for kids, and it's quite interactive. So I'll give it probably about 7 out of 10.
These incredible birds are easily identified by their pink plumage.
I'm on a very busy safari.
You might not know.
Absolutely wow.
Are not born pink. The colour actually. Keep your eyes peeled here, crew. These strange rock carvings are very old and we're not sure exactly what they mean. We think they're a warning for local tribesmen to stay away from an ancient cave, but we don't know why.
Right, so today marks the end of my day at Chesington for the first time of the 2019 season. Operations have been acceptable, the park has been okay. Had 2 final rides on Vampire, which was fab. Do like Vampire, favourite ride of the day probably. Also had my whole car to myself on Zoofari, and that was really nice as well. So I think my highlight has to be just that, because it's probably something I'll never experience again. Room on the Broom, okay attraction. I think I need to go on it again properly to give a solid opinion on it, but I think what there is there, it's a good walk-through attraction, amusing enough. There are things I naturally don't like about it, but there's things I do also like about it as well, especially the dog scene. That was my favourite bit by far, and I'm glad they've kept the Mirror Maze in it. So until then, catch you later. No dog quieta.